Been many years since I've seen you, Luciano.
It's been 22 years. Time's different in the pen. To the outside world, it's different.
How long's it been?
Feels like 22.
Jesus. All right. So are you all like so last I heard, so I'm hearing a lot of different things. Rumor is that oh my god, this whole thing is like yesterday was a whirlwind. A lot of different things happening at once. So like I spoke to Speedy, and I very much, and I think I told you similar, is like, you know, speaking to Turner is probably a really good idea. Last I spoke to Speedy, I think he's already put in FOIA requests, unless that was you. And I think Gigi might be helping him as well with that.
Yeah, it was probably either of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only got out this morning, so.
Mm.
And Queenie here got out of prison as well. Bo, you were released like what? Yesterday? Yeah, it was probably Speedy or
6 hours ago.
Gigi. Yeah.
Mm. We're not. It's been trying times. Accountability with anyone else just isn't a thing. For some reason there is like a sickness in these people's brains, right? That makes them believe that anyone outside of law enforcement, outside of the justice system, are always at fault. They've always got ill intentions. They always have something evil brewing. And hence why judgment is made so quickly and any concerns are so swiftly like thrown aside. Yet when accusations are pointed in their direction, despite evidence being presented, it's just you get little slaps on the wrist. Bullets aren't going to solve anything. It's just the reality of the matter, right? But I think exposing these entities will do the most real damage, because most of these people live and breathe and rely on the false image of them, like this heroic image that they've kind of presented themselves with. When you go FOIA them and you expose them in court, well, all of a sudden that image starts to get tarnished and it breaks them from the inside. Quite frankly, that's a big reason I was able to dismantle like elements of the DOJ and the marshals. I FOIA'd all their shit. And I was shocked at the kind of dog shit that they had produced. And instead of facing their time in court, they went into hiding. I very much guarantee when you get those reports back, you're not going to get a very truthful set of responses from either D or Jimbo.
You said we're not going to get a response?
You're not going to get truthful responses in those reports. I've been around these people for a long time. They're going to rely on two things. One is very much providing a very distilled point of view in their reports. Like, you know, oh yeah, we just were down and concerned down at the beach, you know, and we might have, like, you know, something happened and then they shot us. You know what I mean? Leaving out the details that make them look bad, right? But
yeah,
after you get that confirmation, and you likely will, I recommend you move into something called an ACR, which is a circumstance in which they need to go to court and need to answer direct questions, that is going to put their job on the line. They will need to truthfully answer each and every question that is presented. But that's how I would handle it. Because blood isn't going to get you anything. Didn't get anything on the day of the beach. Obviously didn't get you anything yesterday evening. But what I'm describing right here, that's going to get you real justice. That's going to put some real fucking fear in the back of their minds.
Yesterday put a cop in the ICU.
Dakota.
Bullets put people 6 feet under. But you're right. Going about,
I don't want to be that guy, but Dakota's a fucking pussy. You fucking look at him wrong, the guy goes off duty. So I don't know how much damage you really did.
Fair point. Listen, I'm looking to go about this any way the message is sent across. And it's gonna be pretty bad in the next coming days, I think. Both legally and otherwise. A lot of people are upset about this, not just us.
Yeah.
What happened yesterday
from,
was
ADMC. Sorry.
Right.
No,
What
you go ahead.
yesterday, it started a chain of events. It's gonna be ugly, Nino. It's gonna be very ugly. I think both ends are gonna be pushed.
Oh yeah?
Blood and the legal side of things. It's gonna be a double-ended conflict, if you want to call it that. It's gonna be specific. It's not just gonna be every motherfucking cop out there or whatever. The people that did this need to pay for it. And they will pay for it. Frankie got tased a while back. That's what fucked up his pacemaker. That's how he died, because it wasn't working. The taser fucked him up.
You know, that's what Nana told me. But she couldn't remember like the when. Do you know who was behind that?
Nah,
How long ago?
I think she's looking to get a medical report or something.
It was about a month and a half ago.
Frankie just didn't know that the pacemaker was fucked. Until yesterday when he dropped dead.
Jesus.
Tell me more about this process with the ACR. That's after the court case, right? The initial court case. Who runs that? Who does the ACR?
You can do an
What's the-
ACR first.
ACR first and then take him to court.
Yeah. I'd recommend proper you know, representation, as I personally am very, the DOJ is fucked. And, you know, I get it. Nino always has a problem with the DOJ. They're all a bunch of fucking dumb fucks. Mouth wrapped around the cock of the police department. The biggest hurdle is going to be making a very clear and concise argument as to how and why something went sideways, where it puts those justices that are likely going to be overseeing this in a position where they cannot see this being an accident. And for context, they have a history of balancing the city towards the police department. So, there is a real chance that when you do go into that courtroom, that they're going to come with a preconceived notion of, well, you're a gang. You just wanted to shoot, or whatever other dumb fuck predisposition they may start with. Just be prepared for that. And be prepared for that argument not being just for them, but for everybody in that courtroom. So it puts them in a position where they cannot fuck around. Otherwise, they themselves should be seen as guilty. And trust me when I say, I'll be watching closely.
Okay. So to get this ACR pushed forward, I gotta talk to Robin about that, yeah?
That is correct.
And this conversation with Turner, still worth it?
I think it is worth it because in order for an ACR and an impeachment to hit appropriately, you want to display that you have taken matters to attempt to resolve these things and seek, accountability through dialogue the proper way. But what's likely going to happen is that while Turner, I put my, I trust Turner. That's why I brought him in. He wants to hold his people accountable, but he can only hold them accountable up to, his accountability stops when they aren't honest, right? He needs to work off what he's got. And, so see what he says, but then go with the ACR regardless, right? For all you know, you might provide him with enough information and they fire these bastards, right? Suspend them, whatever it might be.
Right.
But you want to take that step first.
How do I reach him?
I would go to, you have any, I would contact them directly. 311.
Wouldn't that put me on the radar for the rest of the cops?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I'm glad you mentioned that.
You got his direct line?
Yeah. Let me call him. He's not picking up. I think something happened to him. Okay. Let me pass the number on to him today. Are you going to be around for a couple hours?
Yeah, for
Okay.
like the next 2 hours and a half, more or less. Gotta head out of the city for something.
Okay. I'll get you guys connected. One thing that I would recommend is that based on everything that I heard, it sounded like this stems from a number of circumstances. The first of which is Jimbo Sutton and D-Link over at the beach, followed by some deputies with white or gray hair, inferring that they were going to use that ICU situation to issue warrants, followed by Trevette trying to give y'all a speeding ticket. It is very, 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 very important for you to be successful to hone in on the most biggest problems. I would not put this on Trevette. That is going to be your downfall in all this. Is it dumb as shit, him putting a ticket? Sure. But that's all he probably wanted to do. I know the guy pretty decent. Was it a dumb fuck thing? 100%. But the reason why I outlined that is the danger is if you target too much, it waters down the argument. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What's funny is he didn't have to say anything to me, but he said he was writing a warrant for that situation, which again isn't a massive thing, but he was trying to take it further.
Writing a warrant for what situation, Quinny?
For the speeding ticket.
That doesn't make sense. How is he going to write a warrant for a speeding ticket?
You can't. It's a citation.
That is word for word what he told me that he was doing. He was in the process of writing my warrant.
Maybe he was processing the warrant.
The
Vespucci warrant.
Well, like a warrant over a speeding ticket isn't the problem here, right?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. That's why I would recommend not honing in on that particular detail and underlining it more as possibly the last straw. Because if that, I will tell you right now, based on the conversations I've had with law enforcement, the impression I have been getting is that the statements being given to their high command from, Jimbo and D are very, like, they're making themselves look good like they didn't do anything. And from what it was sounding like, it seems like Trevette is the one that is being framed as the one that fucked up here in all this. If he becomes a scarecrow, those truly it's a typical practice that they got. Look for a scapegoat and make it seem like he's the one that fucked up when in reality it was all these other fucks. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So
should we focus on Jimbo and D-Lin? That was just a cherry on top.
Yes. I'd say those two and probably whoever the fuck Malo was speaking to. Unfortunately, I don't know who that is.
I'll try to get that information. I'll speak to Malo. What about the fact that there was the sheriff when we were at the fun house the other day? And she told me that, there was no issue. There was no warrant out. That we were good.
Law enforcement isn't like obligated to tell you whether or not a warrant is or is not being issued. So you never really know what the angle truly is.
Right.
Now, one thing is also unclear is, brother, the PD is filled with a lot of politics and a lot of internal drama. For all we know, one motherfucker decided to put out these warrants, right? Or maybe they all collectively wanted to put in the warrants and they're looking for a scapegoat. Honestly, you're never going to know what truly happened. That's why they collectively need to be targeted, to be honest. Put them all on the fucking stake, right?
Yeah.
I think here's the important thing that I need to ask you. Is at any point during your interaction at the beach, did you see it as fucking around?
Initially, with the trespassing, it was fucking around, yeah.
But then, when they started running you over, that shit started to become real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's the important thing to focus on, because the impression and part of what I got out of that conversation with Turner yesterday is that there's sort of a mixed bag of like, we were fucking around and then they shot us type shit, right? As if they get to pick and choose when like maiming you is funny or not. It's fucking stupid logic.
Yeah, they were fucking around and then they ran us over with their fucking cars. As if it was some fucking joke.
Yeah.
Then it became serious.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm gonna get you connected to Turner. I would definitely after that conversation, I would definitely get with Robin, get those FOIAs going, and you know, I'd go through the ACR route, to be honest.
Okay.
Force them to hit the stand and be like, answer some fucking questions.
Yeah. All right. Hopefully we can get that going today. I'll expect the phone call from the chief, huh?
Yeah, he may have a situation happening. He's normally around. I wonder if to take an emergency train out, but I'll let you know if I can't reach him.
All right.
All right. Easy.
Appreciate it, Nino.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right.
You guys have any questions for him?
I don't know.
I got one. Nakota. You know if he's still in the ICU?
Probably. After y'all left, the situation was going on, I stayed at the ICU. I've known Frankie for a minute, you know? Soaking her all in. I didn't actually know that Nana was Frankie's daughter. And while there was a deputy. Don't remember her name. She used to be an LSPD. She kind of stood there observing, and all of a sudden I heard a lot of beeps, and I figured what had happened, you know, like beep after beep after beep. 15-20 minutes go by, and Nakota's brought in and one other deputy. I'm now on the call with Speedy in the men's bathroom, which is in the back of the ICU. I walk out and I see Vivian Gray and what's her name? Fuck is that dumb fuck's name? Jenna Mustard. I step back, and Dakota's, in the ICU bed. I step back in front of Frankie's bed, and I kind of stand there, I think I'm like either waiting my turn or just, standing there for my condolences. And seemingly out of the blue, Vivian Gray, very loudly, she's a very passive-aggressive piece of shit, I'm gonna be honest. Very loudly, so the entire room can hear, says something to the effect of, like, because that's her son in the bed. If only other people cared about other people's lives like they do their own friends or some shit like that. I don't remember what she said, but it was some like real bitch shit. Like it took a minute for Nana to like respond to it, because I think we kind of stood there like, what the fuck? And she walked out and she started screaming at Vivian like, what the fuck did you say? She fucking chopped at her. So a bit of a back and forth. Nana goes back in the room, and Vivian's demeanor was brought up to Turner. I don't know if he spoke to her or not about it.
I'm familiar with
that
Viv.
yesterday.
Yeah.
With Vivian, that comes down to me. I was brought in after that shootout, and I was the one that put Nakota down. And as he was getting dragged away towards the ICU, I heard them saying he needed to go there. So I, very loudly and angered, I screamed that I hope he died in there and got to lay in the bed next to Frankie. And she had some very unsavory things to say afterwards, so that might be on me.
Wait, so wait, run that back. You blasted him, right? And then were you in the ICU bed?
I wasn't. No, I was. They brought him in to get treatment from Dr. Skip.
Yeah.
And I think Dr. Skip told him that he needed to go to the ICU. So I was just in the bigger hospital room.
Oh, gotcha. I feel like it might have been because maybe something was said when I was in the men's bathroom that I may have misheard. But it's I don't know.
She did not like at all what I said. And
wait, what did you say?
Exactly that. I said that I hope that they dragged him in there and he died in the ICU and laid next to Frankie in the bed.
Yeah, good fucking riddance. I fucking load that son of a bitch.
I do have a question. While we were in Humane Labs, I don't think I've ever seen a response like that for the amount of people that we had in there. There was a point where I got gunned down and I saw literally, not even an exaggeration right now, 8 officers with class 2s all blasting simultaneously at Luciano.
What? Break down the lead up for me. Oh, because it's a warrant apprehension. I'm speculating here. My presumption is that first the warrant was put out, right? And then some dumb fucks thought it was a good idea to risk the entire hospital to serve those warrants, because these are dumb fuck cops, right? Their brains don't process beyond, you know, ook, must arrest, that my job, right? And so what was likely noted over radio was that these people are wanted for shooting up a bunch of cops, right? And so as a consequence of that, I'm presuming that a lot of officers were brought. But tell me in your own words, like, how did it go down? Like, that might help me answer that question a little bit better. Like, oh, it's because you shot a cop, right? Did you shoot? Wait, so what happened? Did you shoot Trevette right in the hospital?
So we heard about the warrant, right? We heard about them wanting to serve the warrant in the hospital.
Yeah, they shot the cop.
Right?
Well, that's what it was.
So we left. And, again, having to shoot out at the hospital is probably not the best idea, right? A lot of collateral, all that shit. We decided to leave. We left. And then we circled back. Circled back around the hospital, saw Trevette outside the Queenie's car. Looked like he was on his tablet or whatever. And we gunned him down. Right then and there. From the car.
That's why you got all the cops. You shoot a cop, you're gonna get the entire police force.
Yeah. So then we left the area, got onto the freeway, started heading up north. Cops were immediately already on us. There's a shootout in the middle of the fucking road. You know, bullets are flying as we're going top speed. Blasted each other back and forth. One of our cars goes out. There's a shootout by the U-Tool. That's where Bo's at with one of ours, with Leon. And then the second car goes over to Humane Labs. That's where the 4 of us hold out. That's where the rest of the cops end up arriving. That's about it.
Yeah. There's been more cops recently due to other activities happening around the city. And I think the shooting of Trevette, I'm presuming, happened at like peak hours. So you're going to get the entire force breathing down your neck when that occurs. Right?
About the assault rifles.
That I have no idea about. I think anytime you put yourself in a position where it's like a holdout, it's enough for them to take out the ARs. They don't really match. Gone are the days where people match like weapon from weapon. You know what I mean?
Right.
It becomes well, the deagle claps too hard. You know, we're going into a breach situation. So let's take ARs and Zerg rush that shit. If we lose 10 bodies, who cares? They'll wake up in 10 minutes.
Jesus fuck.
I mean, there's no other way to really chop it up, right? Why else would you send in people like that if you think you're invincible? That's why I would fucking kill to be able to fucking inject someone in with some shit. You know what I mean? Put them out for some time.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay. Well, listen, Nino, I don't know too much about this legal side of things, right? I usually seek out vengeance through blood. That's the way I respond to things normally. I have a cool head, but at the same time, I tend to see red when it comes down to it. When it comes down to things like these.
These people don't respond to that. You have to get in their fucking head.
Yeah.
Expose them for who they are. Raise your voice. Bust down their logic. That shit will fuck them up more than anything else.
I appreciate your guidance and all this. If you ever need anything, you can always call me, brother. Right?
Will do.
Yeah, you're not wrong, though. I didn't expect to see Trevette back at Humane Labs.
What? Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I shot a DOC. Never mind. I won't talk
Dark
about
times are coming. I promise that.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Take care.
All right. All right.
Thank
I'll stay
you.
safe. Anytime.